Hiya, YouTube. Well, here it is. Has it all fallen apart? Things are just heating up. BT Dubs, what have I been doing? I don't recall corroborating that I had a posting schedule. Whereas the blob of consistency represents my time as a heedless no-plans man, determining any concrete implementations this time around is requiring some hefty planning and taking some hefty time. Didn't I already crap on about how this place was based on extemporaneity? Well, it kind of is, but it's like a plan that emerges as a result of extemporaneity. Do I care? Like, why do I care? I don't care. Do you care? I don't think anybody is caring. Frankly, I find it fascinating. Planning. This typically involves scrolling the cursor up and down vast stretches, viewing the same thing over and over and over from many and any an angle. Now, forget everything you see here as it is subject to change. I only made this an episode because it led me to an implementation I think I can finally call concrete, and that requires an episode of its own. Expanding the land. My first ever Twitch stream. Behold the fruits of it. Recall the Grandmaster plan from Ep 1. See here implementation of the port capping the city with space for an NY Chicago style financial center, for which I failed to come up with any other name unless you count the abbreviation NCSFC. What you are in fact viewing here is an implementation of that idea, which was lost after an attempt to grade river networks with Electrix's road tool, which I can now confirm is, after announcing with 50% certainty that I knew it would be immediately prior, a bad idea. As far as footage of the prevailing replica goes, I forgot to hit record, a theme deeply explored here at the Road Time Lab, against which put in place such measures I have. A safeguard works 80% of the time. Righto, let's build some roads! Yeah, nah, starting with a rail yard on the inner edge of the dock, which turns to run diagonally. The angle is copied following a gap of water to form a harbour. The angle is shifted again so the harbour proceeds along the same axis as the Chongqing CCBD grid. Yes, I named the fast-growing sub-district from last episode Chongqing, and another lazy acronym for the central sub-district of the Central Business District, which in my mind is like the Central Business District of the CBD, the Central Business District, or CCBD. It was either that or main CBD, so what do you want from me? Catchment? Catchment? You could put a catchment there. Hell yeah, I could. This plan is later muddied when the harbour forms a full channel, but I formulate some kind of giant pipe evacuating the CCBD with hybrid channels for the harbour and to parallel the harbour until the outer dock, where a secondary catchment will go for advanced secondary processing needs, also catering to the Chongqingian stream, all of which I hope to preserve in some altered form whence cometh the channel. But you are goddamned right I'm putting a catchment in the CBD, in the CCBD no less. Oh, and the drawbridge is just a drawbridge. Enjoy it. Alrighty whitey, let's extendy-wendy some landy-wandy. How am I supposed to know where land goes? In roads we trust, as I do solemnly believe that once the main interchange and related connections are sorted, all will flourish in kind. So begins the dance of ideas for potential interchange connection amid city expansion by laying a grid along the main station and copying a placemark highway segment to the unoccupied end, where surely a thoroughfare was to run. A Golden Gate-ish bridge extends from the opposite end, widening the back of Chongqing, where I mark slums and a passenger harbour plus marina. This is not my idea of a marina, okay? The shape just acts as a label reading marina here. Bridge direction suggests possible connection here, for which a harbour sheltering lump will now suffice and a port sheltering lump at the opposite connection. This is a little nostalgic. I had a headland once. A similar antipodal shape forming the mainland where a mountain will go, and this extends somewhat perpendicularly to envelop the lump sheltering the harbour, which now continues inland as a river. Once more at the other end, blob extends from CCBD with small valley marking a pocket for wealthy low residential. Big idea incoming. Logistics warehouse marks the site for superfluous distribution centre, already ever so close to port and related rail yard. And that is the basic shape I have envisioned for this project, likely to change with many details added already, but looks to me something along the lines of Manhattan with lots of variety for networks and yada yada. Feeling the CCBD. For some reason, I appear to have chosen that the avenue from Chongqing wraps around the main station as it sits here, rather than maintaining linearity and moving the station accordingly. Perhaps so there would be more room on the port side for buildings to make use of such a large station, but I might look into that. I suppose highway entry from each end and the middle, marking potential for integrated stadium and decline to port as well. Now the highway is visualized, I will mention that the Just a Drawbridge does harbour a notable characteristic, that I want it to act as a connection for traffic within the port only, hopefully leaving all urban traffic up to the highway. Real boy hours incoming. Big idea distribution centre bordered by secondary CCBD line, freight, turning to run with the CCBD curved main station line access. Then I am compelled to add a second stadium, a bit artsy on the fringe of cultured Chongqing. Somehow I insist this was inspired by Richmond. It is as much like Richmond as I am ever liable to care for. Richmond. This idea for a church integrated along the same path as the main station dome is interrupted by hiding more passenger lines inside, and interrupted again by skyscrapers. Many skyscrapers will be tested throughout this build, and I won't go into much detail except for this conglomerate of buildings from Dubai, which I shall now tell you will be arranged in some kind of wavy star formation. Forgot to hit record, forgot to hit record, forgot to hit record. Marvel as innovative arrow technology fills in the gaps. Primarily this area houses a park, whence the church sits angled atop a hill, still connected to a path that runs in line with the dome for some time. Molen sconces with shopping centre and not steampunk commercial cluster to sandwich metro station with line cutting under church path. How in the heck was the angle for this thing decided? Be hecked if I know. You heckin' you can just heck around? Hecking new grid axes from thin heck? Do heck? Get hecked. Ozell suburbs. Heck is what I call the sub-district comprising the newly directed grid, and rail joins the party with a 2-track station overhanging the low-res valley, supported by prototype Victorian European column module stacks, which taper with the land for organic win. Valley crossed to Snake Through Hill, winding up at Casino Cluster, Brisbane. Neighbouring beach suburb, Gold Coast, also marked. Well, look who's a whore for Aoni Bridge yet again. The revolutionary idea being that main highway proceeds from curve, with secondary connection fanning halfway. Headland to be arranged such that the curved connection seems fitting, and the other edge appears independent enough to warrant another minor bridge. Valley crossing upgraded to viaduct, stream weaving through to drain underneath CCBD, where it will drain to the port catchment. A third stadium atop the hill to overlook Brisbane, whose grid is decided according to A, the rail extending from Grid of Heck, and B, the CCBD curved main station line access. The minor headland bridge connects to the end of Brisbane with opposing bridge connection to mainland that I spend a good couple hours triangulating with Heckline, even though I'm a prob change all dis, and why was that so hard anyway? Just watch the hours long stream footage and you'll see what I mean. Am I right, boys? The gang's all here. I'm right. A final fourth stadium sucks River into its orbit before catapulting uphill to the spawn point, and I maybe kinda suspect the street dynamic of Brisbane, the CCBD and Aoni fan connection, here on termed the fanection, to kinda sorta mingle in some such jive fashion as this turkey right here. Much like cinema's The Blob, Road Time's Lump expands with heedless amorphousness, though straightened out by placemark residential marina zone, a la Gold Coast, the defining beach stretch of which was also straightened during amorphosis. I think an airport will go on the port sheltering lump, and the gap between Aoni and the minor headland bridge welcomes travellers with a city framing temple placemark. I'ma go right on ahead and finally copy Ted's rail truss support idea for its original purpose with a Sydney Harbour style arch bridge. Hasn't failed me yet. All I do for now is lay a fat deck and evenly divide rail segments, raising nodes in pairs to form the arch, copying to the other side. That is a gloriously huge frame for the city, though I wonder if I could go even larger. Might cut some chunk off the estuary. We Dubai now. Many a unit of time ago I made this lotusy spread of reclaimed land, which inspires formation of Dubai landmarks this time around. A Burj Khalifa sized equilateral triangle of keys supports the structure after which it is sized. Renditions spiraling according to the algorithm, mirror triangle at 10x degrees offset, turn 90 degrees, inner spiral edge intersects lattice rectum when 2x stripes protrude, lower 8 instances. Repeat twice, then reset x. Another triangle for the Burj Al Arab, bridged by cable stays. I might add more triangles to this instance, and for now it is plopped where ample space is left for harbour ships. You know, it kinda looks like a thing. I never did get around to solidifying the main interchange layout, just kept branching out and coming up with ideas until, well, the reason I'm capping off an episode at this point is because I believe I have branched out enough to start the solidification process, but not of the main interchange like I thought. First, a quick roundup of all areas so far. Chongqing, NCSFC, Port 1 plus catchment, Airport, CCBD, CCBD Distribution Centre, Slums, Passenger Harbour plus Marina, Low-Res Valley, Temple, Brisbane, Gold Coast, GC Marina Residential, and Dubai plus Dubai Marina. And that is the rough plan leading to the new super network I've started on, which supplants hopes for main road interchange as City Booster. A little sneak peek of where I'm at now for those of you unenlightened enough to have missed my Twitch activity, which is all but 2 or 5 on a really good day of you. The plan, not that I have a plan or care whether I have a plan, is to integrate a big rail yard with the CCBDDC and Port 1 as a faux single entity. And if I'm feeling really real boy, continuation to Port 2, and truly really real boys might be urged to set up camp at a second CBD/rail yard. Yeah, maybe. Hopefully said rail structure will, first of all, eventuate, and second of all, boost us through to another dimension in which I have some idea of what's going on. Roads handing over the crown to rail. It's a brave new world. That's all. Thanks for watching, and goodbye forever. Except, during the second cycle I skipped 1 and set X to 2, possibly because I had to move the initial layers out of the way to see what I was doing and got confused, which had the very lucky effect, along with my random stripe spacing, of orienting the fourth and last triangles to create a flat surface across the bottom. So in case anyone gives a fudge, these are the steps to follow so that the fourth and last triangle face the same way.